Welcome back to Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. Thank you so very much for joining me again. In this video, we will be I'll be actually showing you how you write the consonants in the Hebrew alphabet. There is a song for the alphabet that I want to teach you just to help you to memorize it. I know that you have gone through it. But just like when English, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, N, V, W, X, and Y, and Z. And put a little song to it. In Hebrew, they have also put a little song to their alphabet. And so let me just run through that with you. So remember, there are 22 consonants in the Hebrew alphabet. There are no vowels, and we're just going to go ahead and learn these 22 consonants in songs, and then we're going to go ahead and learn it in the song version. Okay, let's go. So it's Aleph, Bet, Aleph, Bet, Gimme Dalet, Hey, Gimme Dalet, Hey, Wazayin, Wazayin, Hetet Yod, Hetet Yod, Kaf Lamed, Kaf Lamed, Mem Nun Samet, Mem Nun Samet, Ayin Pe, Ayin Pe, Sadekov Res, Sadekov Res, Sin, Shin, Tau. Let's go again one more time. So it's Aleph, Bet, Aleph, Bet, Gimme Dalet, Hey, Gimme Dalet, Hey, Wazayin, Wazayin, Heted Yod, Heted Yod, Kaf Lamed, Kaf Lamed, Mem Nun Samet, Mem Nun Samet, Ayin Pe, Ayin Pe, Sadekov Res, Sadekov Res, Sin, Shin, Ta. Awesome. You guys are going to move now into learning how do we write these consonants, these 22 consonants in the Hebrew alphabet. And you're just going to enjoy it. All right, so the first letter of that we sung in the song was what? Aleph, right? So let me just to say something to you that there are two versions of how you write biblical Hebrew. There's a printed version, that's the version that you see in the Bible, in the books, etc. But there's also your version, how you will write it. Now, when you watch different videos, etc., you will see persons do the handwritten version a little different. You can pick one that you're more comfortable with and stick with it. First letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Aleph. Aleph was silent, and so when it is transliterated, when it is written in the English form, it's written like with an apostrophe. I hope that you're seeing this blank page. If you draw a straight line, and tell it to not so straight, but here it is straight. I think it's how I'm holding this so that you can see. And then you can do a little curve here, then curve here. Or you can do another straight line, and then you do a continuous curve. Awesome. That's the true Aleph. That's the handwritten Aleph. And see? Now we're going to move on to the second consonant in the Hebrew alphabet, and that's B. All right, so that's bit on the screen. You recognize that that's the printed version of bit. and it looks like an upside down G, right? Right? So let's go. So it's a curve, a right curve, come down, and then you have a base here. Right? So that's the base. A right curve, and then a straight line on a base. Right, so on the screen, you're seeing the printed version of Gmail. That is how you'd see it in books and on written documents. All right, so Gmail. So we just viewed the printed version of Gmail. Now we're going to write it. All right, so Gmail, you can write it like this. It's a backslash, but it's not just any backslash. It's like you're doing a wave, like you're doing a wave. So let's go. Let's try and do it. All right, so mine, it doesn't look that good. That's perfect, but you get the picture. It's a wavy, like a wavy backslash, and then you have like a stick. I know that some of you are used to drawing stick man, and so drawing the Gmail is going to be easy for you because you're used to drawing stick man. Okay, there's like a backslash that is a little wavy, and then you have a stick. Now it won't be perfect, but you get the picture, right? Once you write it like this, you will know that it's a Gmail, right? So we're moving along, we're going nicely, I'm going to ask you to get your pen, your paper, because we're going to write these consonants. We're going to get into it. We're not just going to memorize it, but we're going to know how to write these consonants. So get it. And it's going to help you to remember them. So let's go. All right, so moving along, we're doing nicely. We are at, can someone tell me what comes after Gmail? So remember, it's Aleph, give me that. All right, so on the screen, we're seeing the next consonant, the next letter, the next consonant in the Hebrew alphabet, and that's Dalet. So it's a horizontal line. Mine is a little slanted, don't pay attention to that. And then a straight line down. So it's a horizontal line and a straight line down. You realize there's a little left off at the end. That is important to distinguish it from other letters that are in the Hebrew alphabet that look similar to it. So when you're seeing on the screen, you're seeing the printed version of the He. And we're going to go ahead and draw the handwritten version. So it's like a right angle. Right angle. And a straight line. It's a right angle with a straight line. And there's some space that is left here, like in the printed version. So it's a right angle, a straight line, right angle with a straight line, and there's some space that is left here. You're seeing the next consonant in the alphabet, and that's Vav. That's the modern pronunciation, or wall. They can be pronounced Vav or wall. Either pronunciation is fine. So we're just going to go into how to write it. And this is a simple one. All right, how you write the wall. So just as like a right line, and then a straight line. So it's like a tilt and a straight line down. So that's the valve or the wall. And so on the screen, we're seeing Zion. It's like you have a tilted hat. Puff your hat. And then instead of the line being here, the line is here. Right? So when it goes on, it looks like you have a tilted hat. All right, so on the screen, you're seeing heads, right? So you do a vertical, you do a right angle. Mine look a little slant, but you get the picture. And then you come back down straight. So it's like you're doing like a box with an open bottom. So it is, you join the line. I hope that you can see it, I want you to see how I'm doing it. Yours is probably coming out a little better than mine, but that's fine. Right angle, and then a straight line. And you realize the difference between the head and the head that we did before. With the head was open here, with the head it's closed. Text, that's how it's written. That's in the printed form. That's how you see it in books, etc. And we're going to write it now. All right, so when you write it, it's like you're writing a circle. Think of yourself just drawing a circle, but not closing the circle. And you just do a slant like that. Love it. I think this one came out good. So going again, you see how it looks like a G, but it's more like a circle. So the tet, which is the first, which is one of the T's in the Hebrew alphabet. You go around like you're doing a circle. No, that's it. That didn't come out good. Right? So let's go again. Let me do my circle from here. Are you seeing it? All right, so come around. Stop. That's tet. Awesome, right? So that's tet. So the next letter of the Hebrew alphabet that we'll be doing will be Yod. And Yod is the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. For your written version, just going to write a little curve, like you're writing a right angle, but you stop it half the way. Hope it's not too dull. I'm gonna try and get it a little brighter. So that's your Yod. Along. Just going to show you how you write the cap. It's like a backwards C. So that's the cap right there, like a backwards C. Can't miss it. So Lamed is the next consonant in the Hebrew alphabet. And Lamed is the largest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's the largest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And I'm just going to show you how to write it. So have you ever seen Usain Bolt go like this? Like a lightning bolt? That's how you're going to write your Lamed. So what you're going to do, you're going to have the top, like you're going to write it like an S. You're going to have the top very big, and then you have the bottom small. It looks like a lightning bolt, but it's supposed to look like a lightning bolt. They have the top very big and the bottom small. So that's your Lamed, the largest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Mem. All right. How many of you have ever heard of a chimney? How many of you ever lived in a house with a little chimney on the top? Well, when you're writing mem, think of a house with a little chimney on the top, or think of a big mountain with a little tick at the side. So mem is written like you're drawing it's not the best picture, but you get the drift. It's like a little house, a little tick at the side. The noon, you're seeing, so it's like a backward L. So some persons just write it like this, like a backward L. And there are other persons that put a little stick at the top, straight line, then go across. So anyone you're more comfortable with, That's your noon. That's your end. Alphabet is Samek. So Samek looks like a sigma, right? One of your S's in Hebrew. So what you can do, you can do a circle and then just put a like a little hat on the circle. So that's your Samek. That's why it looks good. I think that comes out better than some of the others. You must agree. It does, it does. So that's your Samek, people. That's your S. Iron. If you realize that iron, it looks like a Y in. So you will just start like you're making a Y. You come down like this, and you provide a base. That's your iron. That's P. All right, so for the P, it's like a backward C. And then you bring in that. Bam. Like a backward C. It's like you're going to make an E, but you're not making an E. It's like pay. So if you think of pay, think of like you're making an E, but you're not closing the E. It's a backward C with a little thing at the top. Sade. Sade is TS as in boots. Sade. Sade. You have a little slant. And then you have a base with the slant. And then you have a stick here. Still looks like a Y, right? But a Y from a different angle. So you come around. No, that was a ignore this one. So you come around and you give it a little base. Doesn't have to be perfect as long as it looks like this. And that's your sadi. See in the printed version of Cough English. And so you follow suit, a straight line, and you carry it around. And you leave a little space here, which is K. So that's your cough. The next consonant is Resh, R. And to distinguish Resh from Dalit, because it's sometimes persons mix them up, for the Resh, you do a right angle curve. So that's your Resh. So it's like your hook, curve. That's your Resh. Sin and sin. So the next consonant is sin, and right after that is sheen. And sin and sheen are written similar. The only difference is that a dot for sin is to the left. Sin, remember wrong, sin is wrong. So to the left, and sheen to the right. To draw sin, you do a U, and you put a slant in the U, and then you put a dot to your left. So that's sin. Sheen, and this is S. Sheen, which is SH, to a U, slant, dot to your right, and this is SH as in shalom. And finally, we have tab or tall. So there are different pronunciations, the modern pronunciation tab and the traditional pronunciation tall. Either pronunciation is fine. You write it like an upside down, like a rectangle. And then you have a little stick to the end. It's like a rectangle. Hope you can see it. A rectangle. A stick to the end. Excellent. So we have made it to the end of this video. I have gone through with you the 22 consonants of the Hebrew alphabet and how you can write them. I've shown you the printed version. I've shown you the printed form and also show you one way in which you can write the written form, whichever. All right, so on the screen, you see a list of references. So far in my two sharings, I've been using the book Basics of Biblical Hebrew and Grammar. Um, so far in my sharings, I've been using the book Basics of Biblical Hebrew and Grammar. You can get this book on book4u.org. It is free. And as you see on the screen, that's the link that you can use to access this book if you want to read ahead and practice on your own as you go on this journey with me. Some other good books that you can consider are on the screen: Beginning Biblical Hebrew by Mark David and Potato, and A Practical Grammar for Biblical Hebrew. These you can also get for free on the site that is listed on the screen. And on this site, you can get a good amount of free books. It's book4u.org. You can just type in BO-K and the site will come up, and you can locate books on different topics, not just biblical Hebrew, and these books are for free. So take advantage of that. That is something that you have learned from me on this sharing. So whoever stayed to the end got the good stuff. All right, so thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. In the next video, we will be going into the vowel, and we might even start to spell some words, because when you have consonants and vowels, you can start putting words together. And so in the next video, don't want to miss it, we'll be going on to vowels. Yeah, feel as if we're in infant school, right? But we're building up. We're taking it step by step. And as we start to put it together, you will just see that this was easier than you thought. Hebrew is easy, it is not hard. And all you need to do is just practice, continue to memorize,